Hey everybody, it's Andrew Martin coming to you with a new video. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, August 8th. Um, it's the Lionsgate portal, the Magdalene Gateway. Um, I know that there's been a lot of talk online about the energies of today, and this video isn't really primarily about those energies, but I will talk about them briefly in just a minute. I hope that wherever you are, that you're happy and healthy and that you're smiling. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, now since I've recorded a video, and a lot has shifted for me personally in the past couple of weeks. For those of you that have been following me and follow my videos, you know that I've been going through a lot of stuff personally, which, all of the energies that are coming to us right now are really calling us to do really deep inner personal work, which allows us to shift into a more heart-centered perspective and a more unified approach to our lives. Really it is about the masculine and the feminine coming together in this more unified energy, and the masculine represented by the mind and the feminine represented by the heart. It's about the blending and the merging of the heart and the mind as well, so that we're not really at odds with ourselves so much, but really it is about trusting the guidance that we receive from the heart, and then allowing the brain and the heart to communicate, and the mind and the heart to communicate in a way that allows us to move through our lives from a place of unity and from a place of mastery. And personally, I've been going through stuff with my finances and really, getting a handle on how am I, going to build a foundation for the next phase of my journey that allows the things coming to me to be sustainable, and from a mind perspective, how to be practical and how to be responsible and how to make sure that it's sustainable, and that, I am being very honest about what I need for myself personally, and then also in turn for my career. And then allowing my heart also to have a say and to guide me in the direction of the actions that I take and the choices that I make. And so it really is about this symbiotic relationship between the heart and the mind, the masculine and the feminine, the physical and the non-physical, the divine and the human, and really understanding that there is no separation, that the separation is the illusion. And so over the past, I would say the past month or so, I've had the amazing opportunity to trade readings with a lot of friends and colleagues, 5 of them to be exact. And they just sort of, showed up, these opportunities to trade readings from some people that I really, really highly respect their work and value their insight so greatly. And then, be given the opportunity to share my gifts with them as well. The overarching theme that has come up for me, and this is where it kind of ties in with this Lionsgate energy, is allowing myself to surrender to the divine plan, allow myself to surrender to the soul plan, allow myself to surrender to the plan that my heart has access to and that my heart is always guiding me towards, and to trust that and to understand that when I'm only operating from the mind, when I'm coming from a very pragmatic, linear, black and white, sort of earthbound perspective, and not allowing the heart to also influence choices and to influence decisions and to call me to where it is that I can do my work and create from, that it's very lopsided. And also understanding that when it's only the heart, certainly the heart guides me in the right direction and shows me where I can bring more love and integrity and truth to my life and to my work and to my relationship with myself and my relationship with the universe and my relationship with others, that it's also okay for me to also bring in some sort of rational, logical aspects to it and say, okay, I'm being guided to do this by my heart. Now, how can I implement that, right? How can I take this guidance and this inspiration and this impulse and make it something that is meaningful to my own life? So it is about that balance. And what I find is the most challenging for me, and what I've been really called to do, is to trust. To trust the guidance and the stewardship that my heart has for me and my life, and to have faith that the guidance that I receive from my heart is impeccable. The heart only ever wants us to be happy. The heart wants us to be successful. The heart wants us to be fulfilled. The heart wants us to experience the joy and the abundance and the expansion of living our lives as our divine self, as our high self made manifest through the physical experience that we choose. And for me, that has meant really looking at my career and my work that I've been doing so far, acknowledging how wonderful it's been, acknowledging how much I've been able to help people and to guide people and to show people and to remind people of the fact that they are divine. And also surrender the idea of what I, from only strictly logical, mind-based perspective, that I've actually been kind of selling myself short. And that the work that I am going to continue to do, and the work that I'm moving into, and the stuff that I have yet to do, is so much greater and so much more spectacular and wonderful and powerful than anything that I have done thus far, and more amazing than anything I could even conceive of only with my mind. So I really am at this point right now where I am beginning again. I am on the path of the initiate once again. I am allowing myself to believe that what has been promised to me from a divine perspective is so much greater than what my mind on its own can conceive of. And so that, has been a big wake-up call from the perspective of humbling myself and surrendering and having faith in the divine plan and the plan that my soul and my heart and my higher divine self, which they all work in concert and they really are all the same energy. Understanding that where I think I'm going is nowhere near where I'm actually going. And to understand that surrender is not a sign of weakness. When we talk about surrender, so often we talk about it from a very human, competitive, ego-based perspective, from a very low place. But surrender actually is such an act of a powerful, powerful act that requires such strength and such courage to say, I trust that my heart is always leading me and guiding me in the right direction. And when I allow my heart to inform my choices and then allow my mind to come on board and work in collaboration with the heart, and to let two aspects, the masculine of the mind and the feminine of the heart, guide me together, and to understand that they are not separate and they are not at odds with one another. And it is only my perception of difficulty or challenges or trouble or lack or competition or neediness or requiring some sort of external sense of validation and confirmation. That's the illusion. And that's the stuff that wants us to believe that, it's either the heart or the mind. It's one or the other. We got to choose, and that's not the case. So how can we begin to trust our hearts more deeply? How can we begin to understand that the things that the mind on its own perceives as a problem or a challenge or as something scary or as something intimidating or overwhelming, that when we allow the heart to come in and say, no, I am only bringing you these things that you can perceive as a challenge to show you where you can show more love for yourself, more compassion for yourself, more forgiveness for yourself. The heart is guiding us in the direction of that which still needs to be healed within ourselves, within our society, within our communities, the collective, the planet, the country, all of that. And we're seeing this played out in the media. When we look at these things, like all of this, the violence and the killings and, the craziness going on with, the presidential candidate debates and the crazy stuff that's happening with, financial institutions and countries rebelling and fighting. I mean, it's just, you look at it, and if we only allow the mind to interpret it, the mind goes into fear, it goes into protection, it goes into defense, it goes into lack and, anxiety and all of these low base emotions. But when we allow the perspective of the heart to inform us and to say, no, illuminate this further, look at this in a deeper way, the things that we can perceive as scary or awful or horrible or tragic, certainly we are not to discount the very human experience of these things, but to understand that this is the heart guiding us towards that which still needs our healing and our love and our compassion and our forgiveness. And it all starts with being willing to face the things that we see internally, and then in turn, whatever external events bring up for us internally, allowing those external events to kind of wake us up and go, wait a minute, there's something here that really, really needs my attention and my focus. And the intention and the focus is always, how can I love myself more? How can I love my fellows more? How can I love my neighbors, my sisters, my brothers more? Especially those people that I would perceive as an adversary or as a villain to my victim. Because you can't have one without the other. If someone's going to be the perpetrator, then someone has to play the role of victim. And so where can we, and where can we in our own lives dig deeper and find a deeper connection to our heart and find more love and more compassion and more understanding and acceptance, and also understand that, again, I've talked about this before, judgment versus discernment. Judgment says you're a bad person. Discernment says being around you is not good for me. I can still love you and have compassion for you and accept you as you are. You have the right to be where you are and who you are, because you too are an aspect of the divine. But it doesn't mean that I have to hang around with you. It doesn't mean I have to co-sign your behavior. But what it does mean is I can allow my perception of you as an enemy, or as one who brings up conflict, or as an adversary, or as someone who is wrong. I can use that, the emerging of those feelings and those ideas and the judgments that I may hold for another person, I can use that as an opportunity to look at the places in my life that are still asking to be healed, that need more love, that are asking for more compassion and more forgiveness and more understanding. And that is where the heart comes in. So it is trusting that when I'm only operating from the mind, it's very lopsided. And when I'm only operating from the heart, that doesn't necessarily put it into action. The heart says, find forgiveness, find healing, find love. And then I can ask the mind, okay, then how can I apply these lessons? How can I apply this wisdom and this guidance that I'm receiving from the heart? So it's not one or the other. And that's what these energies of the divine feminine that are coming in through this Lion's Gate portal and the Magdalene Gateway, they're asking us to just go deeper into living our lives from the heart, allowing the heart to be the one that provides the guidance and the wisdom and the inspiration. And then we bring the mind in and say, okay, now we have our working order. Now we have our list of things that, we can find within ourselves that need healing and need acknowledgement and love and compassion. So now how, from a rational perspective, from an identity perspective, right? Because if I was not, I wouldn't have an ego if I wasn't human. Like I can't have one without the other. The ego and the mind is part of the human experience. And so how can I make the ego a divine ego? How can I make the mind a divine mind? And the heart is where that answer lies. Because the heart will tell me, this is what needs your love. This is where you still have room for healing. This is where your authenticity is incongruent with your actions, or your beliefs are incongruent with the truth of who you are, which is divine. So allowing the divine self to emerge through the heart as a presence that guides us through our lives, and we can surrender to that and trust it and understand that it only ever wants the best for us. And certainly that may require us to do some things that don't feel super convenient or super easy, but that's not the point. It's not about convenience and ease and comfort. It's about where in my life can I bring more love and more compassion and more devotion to myself and the truth of who I am, And a lot of times that requires me to look at things that aren't necessarily true anymore or have never been true or are based in illusion or separation, and to let those things go so that love can fill up and embody the space where the lack of love was previous. Wow, 15 minutes already. So that's my message for today, is where can we allow our heart to inform us and to show us where we still have healing and work to do in ourselves, in our communities, in our countries, in our planet. How can we bring the masculine and the feminine, the action and the receiving, receive and then act, become aligned and inspired and then act, find the place for love and then show it, give it, bring it, allow ourselves to receive it and then share it, right? It becomes this symbiotic relationship, and one half needs the other half. That is the divine union. That is the masculine, feminine, and we all have the masculine and feminine within us. It's not a male, it's not a gender-based thing. It's an energetic thing. So allow our hearts to show us where we can show more love and compassion and forgiveness, and then do it. And allow whatever stands in the way of that to be released and removed and healed. So in that vein, I have been guided to offer my services at a reduced rate. So I have reduced my rates until further notice. So healings used to be $225 for 90 minutes. Now they're $150 for 90 minutes. And one-on-one sessions and channeling sessions used to be $150 for an hour, and now they're $100 for an hour. So if you go to my website and check me out, use the Book Now button to access my calendar, read the services page to see what I offer, and then you can also go to the testimonials, click the testimonials button, and it will take you to the testimonials page, because the next few months are going to be super powerful energetically, and my job in this lifetime is to help people. And so I have chosen to heed the guidance. Perfect example, the guidance of the heart said, reduce your rates so that you can help as many people as possible. And it would have been very easy for the mind to say, nope, I know better. But no, it's a symbiotic relationship. So the mind says, okay, I honor the guidance that the heart is providing to reduce the rate. And so I'm going to now go to the computer and change everything on my website and on my booking tool so that you can access what I can do to work with you at a reduced rate. So enjoy these energies, just let them come in and do what they need to do. Just set the intention that you are going to allow the divine feminine energy to come in and reemerge and to re-establish itself as a presence in your life, and allow yourself to release anything that doesn't serve you anymore. You can also go to my Facebook page, because I've got an article that I posted on there about the Lion's Gate that kind of explains in a greater depth what those energies are all about. So I thank you as always for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I do love you. And go to my website, book a session, and you can follow me there. All my social media stuff is there. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the energies. Just set the intention to receive them, and they'll do what they need to do. And let me know how I can help. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.